Resident Director Job Analysis. Introduction and purpose of the study. Purpose of the job analysis. The purpose of this study was to conduct a job analysis for the Resident Director RD of Liberty University. It was found that generally resident directors work in a variety of environments, including the resident housing and other places on campus. The RDs work frequently with Liberty University faculty and students, and it is surely a 24/7 job. Introduction and purpose of the study. 1. RD's employees are genuinely monitoring leadership and development, RA content and training programs for RAs. Converge Group's leadership program for personal and professional development for all students. Assure the safety and quality of life and residential students, ensuring the health and well-being of students. Resolve student concerns and complaints, act as a liaison for resident life and other departments of the school. Introduction and purpose of the study was LU Consulting. Liberty University Consulting, Inc., LUC, is affiliated with Liberty University. Master's in Applied Psychology, Industrial Organization Psychology. Liberty University was founded in 1971, and the IO Psychology was incorporated in 2019, and the LUC was incorporated in 2020. The LUC specializes in job analysis, personal selection, hiring, and recruiting. Introduction and purpose of the study again continues to be, we work closely with the Office of Resident Life at Liberty University and effectively utilize the job analysis to attract the right candidate. We then selected who would fit that position and the values embedded on the job and hire them. Since 2020, Liberty University's MA in Applied Psychology, Industrial Organizational Psychology, has assisted the Office of Resident Life in hiring and recruiting for positions, most notably the Resident Advisor RA position. Introduction and purpose of this study continued as we have a strong, positive working relationship with the Resident Life Department, including the RDs. We previously used a job analysis to gain knowledge of the position and narrow the job duties, KSAs, and other elements of the position to create a job description for applicants. We analyzed all the applicants and developed a selection process for the resident directors to determine who would be the best RA to fit the ability and culture of the organization. Throughout the process, our facilitator and students have reviewed the RA role and now the resident director role. Again, in the introduction and purpose of the study continued are the laws, regulations, and professional standards. Brittle Associates and Brittle Consulting Group has performed job analysis. They have developed numerous pre-employment selections tests during the past 30 years and are aware of these needs to address federal laws, regulations, including but not limited to Civil Rights Act of 1964, Civil Rights Act of 1991, Americans and Disabilities Act, Age of Discrimination in Employment Act, Federal Uniform Guidelines for Employee Selection Procedure, and the Federal Contract Requirements and Regulations. We are also aware that the job analysis and selection test should be also addressed in professional standards, including but not limited to the principles of validation, the use of personal selection, procedures of society, industrial organizational psychology, American Educational Research Association, American Psychological Association, standards of education, and psychological testing. Job analysis was designed to address the relevant laws, regulations, guidelines, and professional standards. Job analysis facilitator, Liberty University program MA, and is applied in IO psychology, Dr. Benjamin Wood, was the primary job analysis facilitator. His resume is included, attachment A. analysis process, and participants and location. For this study, we conducted a job analysis and created a report for the resident directors. Job analysis, a structured form of gathering information about the specific content and requirements of the job, entails. We conducted this job analysis using the guidelines-oriented job analysis system, also known as the GOJA system, owned by the Biddle Consulting Group, BCG. The analysis process. The Biddle Consulting Group has over 40 years of experience with equal employment opportunity and affirmative action planning, and also has over 30 years of experience with software development. As a resident director, one should be fair and just to all demographics. Since the Biddle Consulting Group prides themselves in providing clients with high-quality work and equal employment opportunity, affirmative action in planning and employee selection, so they prove to be reliable group to contributing our job analysis. This system, while developed in 1970, has been used by many employers for job analysis and selections. The goal of the GOJA is the development content valid selection tools and employees to use. Because of its strict adherence to federal guidelines and principles for the validating selection process, it has set itself up to have its selection process and job analysis to be fair, valid, effective, and resilient to the falsifiability, which makes it able to stand its ground against counterclaims. The GOJA system includes plans, assessments, and various job-related tools to aid in job selection, promotion, interviews, and other standards of requirements set by the job at hand. The GOJA has been selected in beating court cases dealing with the different work products created by the GOJA. Some of these cases include jobs like firefighters, surgeons, and engineers. This further defends the fact that the guidelines-oriented job analysis has been proven to be legitimate. It also has been used across the various universities, even in textbooks placed in the Urban University of DC. Some of these include use in personal management, human resources, and local government, recruiting and selection, analyzing job employers, job clarifications. This is important to note because it further validates the use of the BCG's GOJA by showing its versatility and legitimacy. Participants and locations. We tried to include data from as many participants as possible. Included in this job analysis is data from seven Liberty University resident directors who have performed the function of an RD. In this selection, we will verify that the subject matter experts, SMLESs, parentheses, are a diverse group. It has been shown that as little as 7 to 10 SMEs are needed for reliable results, and this job analysis fits this requirement. Participants, we had 6 experiments of SMELES. Our 6 experts have performed for 1 to 4 years. One expert for 5 to 9 years. Genders, 5 males, 2 females. Culturally, 5 whites, 1 Asian, Pacific Islander, 1 mixed. Age, 6 in the ages of 20 to 29 and 1 in the age of 30 to 39. Location, the job analysis workshop was held at Liberty University in DeMoss Hall, Lynchburg, Virginia, 24502. Job analysis process. The work setting, the AD interviews, group discussion, we found the work settling as described ladder. The job analysis workshop. Our facilitator interviewed the associate directors. We interviewed the participating associate directors, discussed in large and small groups, creating teams, questionnaire development, discussion from data analysis, and interpretation. Investigation of job duties. The survey was created. The RDs filled it out independently, frequency and the importance. The ADs came to a consensus, the frequency, importance, fundamental, and assignable. Investigation of the KSAPCSs. The survey was created by knowledge, skills, abilities, and personal characteristics. The resident directors filled it out independently by frequency and importance. The ADs came to a consensus, frequency, importance, performance, differentiating, helpful or minimal qualifications, minimum level needed for success. Investigation of physical abilities. Survey was created. RDs filled it out independently, frequency, importance. ADs came to a consensus of frequency, importance, performance of differentiating, helpful or minimal qualifications, minimum level needed, and level needed for success. Relationship of the duties to the KSAPCs. Legally required to explain the need for the KSAPCs. Job duties are related to the required KSAPs. Linked job duties to the KSAPCs, discussed later. The importance of the KAPCs, discussed later. Other test-related information. Limitation. Observations of the jobs were mostly from the perspectives of supervisors. Limited communication with the RDs. Discrepancy in vocabulary used. Limited time for interviews. Focus on current pandemic could have limited perception of the job. Our consulting group is still learning this process. Our time assessing the job was limited to an 8-week course. The contact person is Dr. Benjamin Wood. The accuracy is data collected from current RDs and ADs, the entire class, and Dr. Wood reviewed data. Our consulting group analyzed data, and Dr. Wood reviewed and finalized the content. References: American Educational Research Association, the American Psychological Association, and National Measurement in Education, Standards of Educational and Psychological Testing, and the American Research Analysis, Washington, D.C. Society for Industrial and Organization Psychology, Principles of Validation are used in personal selection procedures. Uniform guidelines on employee selections procedure. The attachments are the job analysis, facilitator's resume, work situation, C, knowledge, skills, and ability relating to job linkage, D, explanation of the GOJA job analysis relating scales, E, average job duty relating, F, average knowledge, the skills and ability ratings, and lastly, the addendum and the contributors to this report. Example of the attachments C, E, and F are before you. Job description, job summary, oversees the resident life committees and ensures that the mission of Liberty University, ORL, is accomplished through the impact of resident assistants and students. Job description, job duties, mentoring and supervision, rule enforcement, resident hall oversight and safety, on-call and crisis response, promote community, be a mediator with the university departments, recruit and hiring, program development, administration, and professional development. Job competency model, we listed them from 1 to 13, and they are as follows. 1, diversity, 2, systematic, 3, communicative, 4, emotional intelligence, 5, resilience, 6, trainable, 7, self-sufficient, 9, crisis management, which is the ability to handle stress under emergencies, objectivity, and effectively resolves problems in an even-tempered manner and effectively. Skills, objective, stress management, and resolution. 9, judicious, 8 judicious, 9 Christ management, 10 mentally flexible, 11 selflessness, 12 spiritual, and 13, most importantly, dedicated.